So this is the workout room.
Okay.
And just to kind of back up a notch, this project is a basement remodel that we went in and lowered the basement floor by about 3 feet in this area that we're in right now. And the owners came to me and they said, hey, we want to do a basement remodel. And I thought, okay, this is great, basement remodel. And we went down and looked at it, and they sprung it on me that, by the way, we want better headroom. And we came up with the distance of 3 feet. And then it's this given area that we're in right now, we did down to 3 feet. And then we took the entire garage, which was a 3-car garage, and we dropped that down to this elevation here. Actually, I think another 8 inches below this elevation. And we'll get over to that area too. So in essence, we created this large suite that had much better headroom. The amenities were greatly improved. And so it's was quite a project. This room right here is a workout room. There's going to be a treadmill and a couple other devices in here. And I think you can't see it in this picture, but we took and beefed up the ceiling in a bunch of places. And there was a layer of plywood over, I think, both of these ceilings right here that allowed for the client to put climbing equipment and various apparatuses that their son could they could attach things to the ceiling for their son. That's part of what this bracing material around here is for too.
Awesome.
So this is a workout room, and then we go over into this area here, and this is a bedroom. We had to get legal egress here for getting in and out of the basement safely in the case of an emergency. We had water lines that we had to relocate and bring in, and that's what this panel is for. You can see all the heating and cooling that was put up into the system, up into the ceiling. And then straight into this direction in here is a closet to our right.
Ooh.
Yes, so this is a closet area that's going to be finished off. And then over here is the bathroom. Toilet here, shower, and there's a vanity that's running across this wall that's I believe it was an elevated vanity is what we're planning on doing. And then when I spin around, we've got some a nice little bit of glass in this room too.
Excellent.
And then do you want me to just keep going, Lori, into the other
Yes,
rooms?
please. Yeah, this is great.
And coming back out of the bedroom, back into the workout room. Up in this area here is the original furnace room, and you can actually see
Oh, wow.
the floor height difference here. This line here I'm running the mouse was the original floor height, and this is the elevation change that we made.
Wow.
Underneath here, you can't see it, but there's a sump pump. There's a piece of PVC right there. We put a sump pump in, and we had always originally intended to, but once we got the elevation changed and we started seeing just a ton of water coming in during rain events. And so we ended up putting in a 2-pump system, two 2-inch pumps that oscillate. One will run for whatever it takes to exhaust to remove all the water out. It'll shut down, and then the water will build up again, and then the second one goes. So you've got a backup system for that. In addition to that, we were concerned about all of the water that we were seeing and how devastating it would be if we had a flood or if the power went out and we didn't have power for these sump pumps. So we ended up putting in a generator also on the other side of the building. Whoops, I forgot to show you one thing here. One room. Let's see, where am I? Turned around. So to my right here is what's a calming room, kind of a meditation area. And so we super insulated this. And I believe we ended up putting a channel called RC channel. It disconnects the sound transfer. And so we put that in this room. And they've got some funky stuff hanging from the ceiling. There's some light matting that comes down on the ceiling. It's just kind of a fun little room for their family.
Cool. So it's like a calming room. I've never heard of that before. So it's like it's just a quiet room type of thing.
Yeah. Yep. It's a place to go and kind of chill out.
And sounded like there was special the walls are built especially with insulation for noise or something.
Yeah, we added some additional insulation. We added some horizontal sound deadening channels that limit the area of surface area that allows that sound to transfer. So anytime you have material that's touching each other, that has the ability to transfer the sound. So what we do is we put this channel in that's run perpendicular to the framing. And in doing that, we slow down that transfer. We get less of a medium to transfer through.
Cool. Okay, that's awesome.
So this was a bathroom right here, small bathroom, a toilet, and a sink, little powder area. Little space under the closet. This is going to be area for cat litter boxes.
Oh.
Our elevation of our soil stacks for the toilets and the sinks and everything was below what the original exit point was from in the house. And so we had to put in this lift station. So this lifts all the sewer from this section of the house, lifts it up this pipe here and up to the original exit point in the house.
Wow.
Here again, it's kind of cool. You can see the old elevation here, and this is some of the only foundation that is exposed at this point. So that was the height of the wall, and then there's a big footing underneath here that was actually 4 feet wide by about, I think, a foot in height, and that was all poured monolithic. In other words, it's all one complete unit. So they poured the footing and the wall all at one time.
Wow.
This is going to be a kitchenette coming across here. You see the soil stacks. These are vent lines. These are water lines running horizontally. This is a refrigerator, I believe. I think we have a gas stove right here. I think that's what that receptacle is. And then water lines coming over and dropping down. And then turning over here to the left is going to be the stairs going up to first floor. And we actually had to modify the headroom here because when we came down from the upper floors, we ended up having, we didn't have enough headroom here. So we ended up modifying the room that's right above us. And then these are the stairs coming in. This big guy right here, this piece of equipment is a HEPA air machine. So it's used under the same principles as your lead or asbestos abatement companies would use. And this guy filters the air in through a HEPA air filter, and then it kicks out the air, exhausts the air after it's done running it through this filtration system. And it's super clean and clear air. This is going to be a wine room. And
that question on the HEPA filter, how does that thing, is that running all the time or does it run just certain times?
Yeah, almost on every one of our jobs, we've got HEPA machines running every hour of the day that we're working with. And it really doesn't matter how much dust you're making. It's that accumulative effect of, us creating dust over, a 3-month period of a project. And in this case, I think this project was 7 or 8 months per schedule. It was scheduled to be that, and I believe we've hit the dates right on the numbers. But you think about it, you're working in a space, you're creating dust over a 3-month or 4 or 5-month period. That dust just keeps on going and going and going. And so, for the safety of our workers and just the cleanliness of the job site, we always run HEPA air machines, and it really provides a little bit of safety for everybody.
Excellent.
So yeah, this is the wine room, and up in the ceiling here, we're going to be installing a cooling unit, so to keep the wine at the proper temperature. And as long as we're looking up here in the ceiling, you see this kind of greenish tint material. It's a spray foam. And when we were in the heavy construction phase, what we did is we sprayed the ceiling for a couple of reasons. One is temperature, because when we started this project, it was February. And so we sprayed the ceiling so we would keep the room above warm. The second element was humidity. So we didn't want the humidity to be transferring up through the basement, because we exposed the walls and the floor and everything in this project. And so we had a lot of moisture that was in the air, and that moisture, we didn't want that going up into the wood floors that are above us and causing issue up there. So we sprayed it. So that was item one. And that helped during construction, but it also was a sound deadening material. One of 2 sound deadening strategies that we utilized, the second being an insulation. And for a sound deadening, we like to use a cellulose material. Cellulose is just a phenomenal material. So it limits that transfer of that noise that can be in a basement or even upstairs. So if you're walking on the floor upstairs, that noise can transfer down. Heating ducts, exhaust lines, all this is insulated so that it keeps that sound from transferring. Now, with that said, it's not a perfect system, because let's see, I think, let me grab a shot here. I'm not going to be able to see it in this room, but in the next room I can show you. So we've got ductwork that's running all along here, and you'll see vents out here, and those vents are a weak spot in the system. So sound can go into that ductwork and travel into the rest of the ductwork system. So it's not a perfect system, but it really helps contain that noise.
Awesome. What about the flooring? Is that special flooring?
Yeah, the flooring is actually a concrete floor. So when we did the lowering of these 2 elevations, we had to pour a new concrete floor in. And then in the finish on the floor is it's a concrete, and then we had it honed. So they came in with a large heavy piece of equipment and honed the floor, so it was really smooth. And so it showed the aggregate, so when they honed it, that it kind of takes the top, small amount of concrete off the floor, and then it shows that aggregate exposed, and it's kind of a cross section of the aggregate. And then they put a sealer on it. So that all had to be done before we did our framing. And so what we did is we came in and we put down, I think this is 2 layers. We put this material down that you see on top. That's just a masonite board, probably a 1/4 inch masonite. And then after the masonite was down, or prior to the masonite being down, we put down another material. I think it's called ram board, and it's just a really hard material because we needed to protect the floor. And then you can see along the edge here, we put a tape along the edge here for to keep the dust from getting underneath the masonite.
Excellent.
So this is this area here that we're looking at is underneath the garage. This is a 3-car garage. And this ceiling that's above us right here, you can't see it, but it is a precast concrete. We also did come in here and do a spray foam on top of this entire ceiling, or on the underside of this ceiling. And that the primary reason for that is more temperature related. So when you have a garage in Wisconsin and the heat or cold from the garage, we didn't want that penetrating down, so we did the insulation on the ceiling. And on this ceiling here, you'll see a little different framing member. We put in a steel stud versus on the walls was all wood. The reason we use the steel is just it's so darn straight. It's really easy to navigate and manipulate when you're putting up on the ceiling, and it just provides a really super smooth ceiling. Wood has a tendency to have deviations in it, and this has, negligible deviation. And so the ceiling is nice and flat. We didn't talk really much about this black board here, but this is one of the strategies that we used in the foundation to keep any water that might come through the foundation into the living space. So this is a specific board. A dimple board is kind of a common name for it. And the dimple board gets fastened right onto the concrete. You can see these little orange fasteners here. Gets fastened right to the concrete. And that provides a drainage channel, in essence, for any water that does get past the concrete foundational wall. It will hit this drainage board, and then the drainage board, and I don't think you can see it here, but there's a channel down here that the drainage board is tucked into, and then the water that's behind there goes into the drainage board, down the drainage board, into this channel that I'm pointing to, and then down into a drain tile system.
Wow.
You can see a little bit of this this green material here. That green material was what we it's an epoxy, and it strengthens the wall. So there's carbon fiber strips that are behind this black dimple board that were run varying spacings throughout the basement, depending on how tall the wall was and what we were trying to achieve. But basically, they're a carbon fiber strap that is attached to the wall, and in attaching to the wall, and then the height of the wall, then we're able to make that wall that much stronger. I think we should be able to see. Yeah, maybe not. Let me go down the line here a little bit. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it, but then we take that carbon fiber strip, and it gets fastened in between each one of these floor joists. So it gets attached to the ring, and it just creates a really strong system for providing some additional lateral support in the basement. So then the room that I'm rolling into right now is this is a theater room. You can see the theater boxes, the sound boxes, and so that's we're gonna have a big screen TV here. I believe these are some type of a sound.
The cabinets or something?
Yeah, so these are speaker systems. They're probably a subwoofer, and then they got this big cavity in here that allows that subwoofer to create the sound that comes out of them. Over here on the right-hand corner where you see all the caution tape, we got the caution tape there because we didn't want any electrical to be run through this area. And so what we've got this set up for is, in the future, if we want to, we would be able to put a door in here, and then on the outside dig a stairwell to provide access to the space from outside.
Okay.
Um,
That's just for prep, like that's not gonna happen now, but it's like just anticipating future.
yeah, they just didn't see a need for it right now, but we wanted to anticipate if it was something that we wanted to do in the future.
Excellent, okay.
The lighting in this basement was pretty unique also. It follows so there's Kelvin ratings of lights now, and that's something that's pretty interchangeable. It's something that's always been there, but it's pretty common now for us to put in an LED light, and the LED light might have 5 or 6 different settings of the Kelvin ratings. And the Kelvin rating is essentially, you've probably heard of a cool or a yellow light, and then depending on what the circumstances are and what what the room is being used for, you can change that Kelvin rating. Now, that's not something that's easily changed on most lights except for this one. This project, these lights are tied to the basically the time of day. So it will adjust the lighting, the Kelvin rating, that coolness or whiteness, depending on the time of day. So it recognizes that, hey, it's nighttime, and it goes to a different setting. And I don't know what the rating changes are, but it basically follows the rhythm of the sun and the day.
Wow, I've never
Yeah.
heard.
Pretty interesting. We did some support work behind here because we might have a curtain in the future going up. You can see the duct work. This is where the supply, whether it's heat or cool, is coming out. This steel system is a little different, and it's got these grommets, and that protects the wire that's fed through these openings. Steel is generally a commercial product, but it just really worked good for us here. And you can see here, this softened area was created to primarily run the heating lines. So this ductwork that you see up here is connected to the top of this supply line. But we also used it for, this black line is for an air conditioner. This is the second air conditioner. This orange line, I think, is a communication line going back to the TV and the sound system and the projection unit. And then they used it for various other raceways for other electrical components.
So did you have an AV specialist like there or at the same time as the HVAC people to get all of that installed so nicely in there?
Yeah, I mean, you have to look ahead and figure, okay, well, who needs to be in this passage. And so, we always set up to make accommodations for all of the trades. We also ran our the sump pump that I showed you earlier. We ran those lines through this area too, and I'm not sure if we can see them up here. Yeah, we cannot. These guys here are the air conditioner, and this is the power feed for the air conditioner. Oh, this orange line here is for the generator. So that's the generator that's parked right out here also. And that generator goes back to the panel. And then when there's an outage, a power outage, the generator has a switching system. It recognizes that there's no power, and then it instantaneously disconnects. It actually has a disconnect. So from the power company's lines coming in, it severs that line, and then it automatically kicks in the generator, and the generator is up in a matter of just milliseconds. It's a very quick handoff from this control box recognizing, hey, we don't have power. And 2, we're shutting down this connection to the outside, and 3, we're going to fire up the generator. Now, the reason it has to have that second one, the shutting down the connection to the outside, is that if this generator kicked on, it could be charging back out onto the line system. And if a line worker is out there, they could be electrocuted. So it's a big safety device, but it all just works automatically and instantaneously. And then I think once a month or once a week, the generator automatically turns on. It cycles through, and it's not powering the house, but it automatically cycles on, and it says, hey, we're going to do a test on the system. And I believe it does a report, and it sends the report to the client that says, hey, everything, all systems are good. We did a test run on Tuesday at 3 o'clock, and everything was fine. And so it keeps the system active and running. It does all sorts of informational reports.
And that's through email that they get that?
I believe it is email. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think, this one of the primary reasons we did this Matterport scan for this project is we got so many moving parts down here. And just look at the ceiling that's below the garage here. We had no opportunity after the drywall was on to be able to access the basement, to access the mechanicals. So we took this Matterport, and the guys have used it numerous times already. They come along and they say, hey, I want to know where that ductwork is. And so now they can actually come in here, and they can see that this return line here is this is the location of it. And oh, by the way, I've got an electrical outlet, and this is where it's exactly placed. And so it's been used a number of times by our staff to as they worked forward in the project after this stage here.
Very smart.
Interesting thing here, I hadn't talked about this, but this is a steel post, and you can see these. I think there's 4 of them on each side. And what we ended up doing is putting these steel posts in to supplement the supporting of the. There's a steel angle iron that's above that you can't see, but we supplemented the supporting of the concrete slabs that were above with these steel posts. And so they sit underneath an angle iron that runs up here, and those support the precast concrete that's up above. And then they go down, these guys go down on top of the foundation, and so it's a direct connection from a supporting element that's in the floor up through the steel into the horizontal angle iron.
Wow.
Another interesting piece here. This orange tube here is called a Smurf tube. Is kind of the industry name for it. And the Smurf tube allows the AV folks to push wire through. It's already done in this one here, it looks like, but they're able to push their wire through these tubes and fish it up into the box that's going to be used as a control point. So that's kind of the nickel tour.